Welcome to the Nathan.net. I started writing a playbook to do the virt-builder build and the virt-installer, and I thought I'm using shell commands, so what's the advantage of this over just a shell script, and is one faster than the other? So you can see, let's go over the playbook first. I am executing this on localhost, and the connection is going to be local, so it's not using SSH for this. I'm not gathering facts, and then I'm setting some variables. And these could be overwritten with the Ansible playbook command. When you pass it to -e, you can change these. The next thing I'm doing is I'm actually building the server. I'm running virt-build. And you can see by putting the pipe here, it means you don't have to escape every single thing, but it still picks up the variables. So this is a really neat trick that saves a lot of time, because if you had to go through and escape all this stuff, it would drive you crazy. I'm doing become, so it runs this as root, as actually with sudo, and then I'm passing it the working directory, so it's going to run this command in this directory, and it's going to create this variable here, which is server image. And if that server image already exists, then it will fail. Another cool thing you can do with Ansible is you can add tags. So with tags, you can execute parts of the playbook only. So I could bash -t and virt-builder to only do the build. The next step in here is I'm doing the virt-install, and I am passing some variables. I think I might change the size to a variable also of the image. I'm passing it the server name and then the image that I actually called it, and it's going to do that in the working directory. After that's complete, I'm using libvirt to list the running VMs, and I'm printing that information out with debug. It's not going to be as clean as what the bash script is, but let's take a look at that next. So this is the bash script, and the bash script I had the same variables. Because I'm working in this directory, I'm going to actually cd to the directory, and then everything below that will run from that directory. I'm using sudo and just running the commands replaced with variables that are set up here. And then the next command is the virt-installer, and then I'm doing a virtualist to list out the running guest. Let's take a look at the execution of these. So the first one right here is I ran with the time command, and this is the shell script, and you can see it puts out the information like the password, which it does not print out on Ansible by default. And it prints out all this information right here. I could get it by registering it and then putting it with the debug in Ansible, but that would be a lot more difficult and a lot more time consuming. You can see the real time right here was a minute 49, and then down here it was a minute 40. The only package I'm installing in this is the agent. You can see that this is the output from the Ansible playbook. So time is about the same. So what kind of are some of the pros and cons? Well, with the Ansible playbook, we can replace any of these variables. Let's make this a variable for size. And we'll come up here and we're going to add a size. And by default, it's going to be 10G. I think well, let me look at this one as a lowercase, it doesn't, uppercase G. Let's write that. So now we can actually run this, and let's create, I'm only using the server, so let's call it a server image. Do -e, and then we're going to equal, what do we want to call this one? We'll call it repo. -e, and we're going to take the server name. This is going to be the host name, and it's also the name I'm giving to the guest. We're going to call it, get my quotes right, and then we're going to do the size. So in the bash script, we'd have to actually go through and edit these variables, but with the Ansible playbook, we could just pass it this information. We could see that this actually added a little bit of time to it, about an extra minute, not quite, 30 seconds for that extra size. It's the repo right there, and I also have the server, so it's printing both. So that's some of the advantages of doing a playbook. Another advantage of a playbook is you can create roles, and you can pull this in to other playbooks, so you only have to write it once. I'll have a copy of the bash script and playbook I used in a blog post, which will be linked below. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.